Welcome everybody to Readers Co, where we nurture your reading culture. Today with me is a very special guest who will talk about a specific subject, mostly history and antiquity. Welcome, Rushdi.
Well, welcome, Sabrin. Thank you so much for the invite.
I'm very happy to have you here. Do you like the space? Do you like the dojo?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a great gym, actually. The first thing I had in my mind was this
Makes a great gym.
gym, yeah.
Nice. Well, we thank them very much for this collaboration. And before we start, I want you to introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay, so my name is Rushdi, and I'm a history nerd, I would say. I really love history. I love also everything related to specifically Roman history, right? So antiquity, we can say antiquity. I work as a guide, tour guide here in Algeria, like the whole territory. And what I like about it is that I can visit those sites a lot. And whenever I have people who are interested, I'm the happiest man, I can say.
Great. So tell me, what's your relationship with books?
Okay, so for me, in order to learn history, you have to learn from a good source, right? So if we have to mention a good source, we have to mention the references. And you can get that mostly from books or, YouTube podcasts or something, but they have to be like made by people from the field.
Experts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Something which is peer-reviewed. That's it.
Something which is peer-reviewed.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what are the reference or source books that you started with for history?
Well, in my case, I started with video games. I started with Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
I played those games a lot, and there is one game I played like many times is Assassin's Creed Revelation. The story happens in Turkey, Ottoman Empire. And then I shifted to another game, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I live not far from Tipaza, the Roman ruins. So I go to swim there. I got these as the base. So you have the history you can see, the site of Tipaza and the games. And then I started watching, let's say, videos, podcasts, trying to learn. And then quickly I found that the source matters because sometimes they say things that are just widespread. It's not real.
Basically, you started with game lore, and then game lore got you into fact checking?
Kinda.
Okay. And how did you go about in fact checking? Because that's I feel like that's super important.
If you want something like because I still remember actually, there is from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there is a scene which is called the Symposium, and then you find mostly the greatest playwrights, Socrates and stuff, and many other like philosophers and playwrights and stuff, Sophocles, Aristophanes, etc. And then Socrates starts to use a method which is the Socratic method. They keep asking questions, and then I liked what he was saying. What he was saying is the practice of medicine is for the betterment of the sick, right? The practice of carpentry is for the betterment of the building. So the practice of politics, ruling, is for the betterment of the ruled, not the ruler. Mm-hmm. You see? So when I saw this, I wanted to fact check it. Is it real, or it's the game designers and stuff that wrote this? Actually, they took this from the real dialogues of
Socrates.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened? I started to dig more, and start learning and seeing and stuff. So I like to stick with what's right and not.
So what really got you into it is actually finding philosophy in games, and that got you into books?
Yeah, so I started, let's say, checking, looking for the sources, because mostly in history, especially in Roman history, especially if we talk about the gladiators, everything is mostly lie there. So we have to check, and it's very hard to find something good.
Reliable.
So I started learning from books. So there are a few books that are now written in the starting from the 20th century until today, and there are old sources. So I use both.
Okay. Can you name a few? Can you tell us any titles? Or do you have any
I
titles?
do. I brought them with me. They
Okay.
are here. You know, these are the basic books I started with when, let's say, 3 years ago. I was like trying to learn as much as possible in a short period of time. So the two I recommend. Look, beginning with Roman history is very hard because it's very long. You don't know with which
Where to start?
how to start, and okay. Me, because Algeria is related to the imperial part of because Rome we have the kingdom period of the kings, republic, 500 years. Not it's not short, 500 years, and then we have the empire. And when the empire was founded, Algeria became a province of the Roman Empire. So I started from the Roman Empire.
So you started from what is related to your culture,
to
our
Tipaza.
culture.
You see, like
Specifically to Tipaza.
Mostly because it's what I can see.
Okay.
Something you can see, learn quickly. You can practice, kind of. So I had this YouTube channel called Told in Stone, which was very active. He very simplified the thing, like about the Romans, what clothes they wear, how old they used to get, the diseases they had, and stuff. So from there you start to understand the Roman mentality, culture, stuff. So most of his videos, like he summarized them in some way and created 2 books. Okay. So the books are here. These are the books. I'm very happy about these books.
So the first one is called Naked Statues, Fat Gladiators, and War Elephants.
Yeah, it's signed.
The second one is?
It's signed. It's signed in the first.
Oh, it's signed.
Yeah.
Okay, Rushdi flexing on us.
Yeah, with the message and stuff.
Nice. So you met the author, actually.
I invited him here in Algeria.
Okay. Did you take him on a tour?
Yeah, for 9 days I was with him.
9 days?
Yeah.
And you toured basically the Roman sites, I guess.
The Roman sites. And he started now creating videos mentioning Algeria.
And the second book is called Insane Emperors, Sunken Cities, and Earthquake Machines. Same, both are by Garrett Ryan.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about these two?
All right, these 2 books, this is the first and this is the second. You can read them by whatever order you want. So they answer basic questions, like why the statues are naked, how long they lived, for example, 50, 10, 100 years.
Yeah.
It depends. Yeah. Did they really use elephants during the war and stuff? So it gives you the basic information everyone needs. That's why I like them. Okay. Anyone can start with them, and they're very awesome.
So this is for beginners.
For beginners who just want to know something. He doesn't name emperors, for example. He doesn't say Emperor Maximinus Thrax, for example. He says one emperor that did this. Okay. One Roman character. One. He doesn't. He knows.
So he's more into the facts than actually the people and the personas behind it.
I forgot how we call it in French. They do it in economy and stuff. I forgot how they call it.
Okay.
De la brutalisation.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot. It has a word. Okay, it makes something simple for everyone. Easy access.
Okay. Vulgarisation.
Vulgarisation.
Okay.
De la vulgarisation. Nice. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Donc vulgarisation of anything that is
vulgarisation of Roman history. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
These 2. And then we have another one that I would recommend to someone who has knowledge a little bit. Like you can start with these and then go to others. You have this one. This one summarizes the history of
everything?
900 years
of the empire, or of
no,
the
this
Republic?
one starts from the beginning, but stops at the year 212, 211, 212.
Okay, so it touches on
how Rome was founded and what happened, how the Roman law began and stuff, and then what they started conquering, and then how the SPQR, Senatus Populusque Romanus. That's the meaning of it.
Okay,
The Senate of the people of Rome. Yeah.
Yeah. I know also that you speak Latin.
No,
At
I
least
read
you
it.
learned. You read it.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't speak it.
No one speaks it.
Interesting. How did it start? How did that start?
All right.
Because I'm guessing everything is linked. Uh-huh.
It's
How do you end up knowing how to read Latin?
Look, I am a curious person. So I'm a translator, by the way. I have a master in translation. I never went to study.
He's flexing.
No, I have flexing about the fact that I didn't go because it was during COVID and I never went to study, and I have a degree. Awesome. So I am a translator, so I love knowing. I love etymology. Okay, the origin of the root of the words and stuff. Okay, so by this natural love of translation, let's return to Tipaza. Why I mentioned Tipaza a lot? Because I used to swim there.
Okay.
Like we used to climb the fence, enter for free, and then go to swim. Rashiyat, like jumping and stuff.
Okay.
So when we pass and stuff, we see stones, and I want to know what are these stones saying. I, with curiosity, started taking pictures and trying to learn and stuff, and then I found that most of the stones, they are similar. Like now, if you go to like a cemetery, right? You go, and what you will find in a cemetery, you will find like هذا قبر المرحوم, and then date and stuff, and then I don't know,
Tombstones
or something
with names.
Same thing, Roman time. Like the words are similar. So I started learning these words, and then I learned how they are made because Latin is extremely hard. And then I started trying to translate more, and then thanks to an online book, I will talk about that later, called La Revue Africaine, City Monument Antique en Algérie, kind of, if I'm not mixing the titles. It has all the most of those
Stones?
epigraphy, on graphy, écriture. Like. So it has most of it. So I started like whenever I have time and stuff, I try to learn. And because Latin is similar, because French is similar to Latin and not the other way around, I could understand it basically.
Okay. Right, that's fascinating. So basically, it started with the love of games, and then it just curiosity brings another curiosity, right?
Yeah. So.
And do you read other books other than history?
Look, when I was a student, like at university before COVID, I used to read. Yeah, but it's either philosophy or like novels related, like they have a meaning, or it's something related to history.
So it has to be related to history.
It has to be. It has to have a sense. I don't read as a junk food, you know. It just to satisfy a need. No, I read because it's time spent. So
you want to spend it well.
Spend it well.
So you believe that like reading for leisure is not time well spent?
No, it depends. Like leisure, you know, philosophers try to explain what leisure means. They say we do business to have leisure, we make war to have peace. So leisure, spend it however you think it's fit.
Okay.
But in my case, I am interested. It catches my attention.
The subject.
Yeah, topic. So it facilitates the thing.
What about historical novels? So it's a novel. It's fiction. There maybe all the history that there is not factual per se, and there's a lot of story behind it that is weaved, but with some facts. Would you read that, or do you only read nonfiction?
I would, and I did, and I will, and I am doing.
Any titles in mind?
Well, you have the Da Vinci Code.
So, Dan Brown.
Yeah, I didn't read it all because, and then I didn't have the book, so I used to read it whenever I have time, and then the book I had to give it back and stuff. So I never went back to that.
Okay.
And then you have another one which I highly recommend for every Roman lover. It's the first complete novel ever. It's called The Golden Ass.
The Golden Ass, the Landor.
Landor, or Metamorphose, however you want to call it. Yeah, from Apuleius of Madoris. Lucius Apuleius of Madoris. He was born. This city exists in Algeria. It's in Soqahras. It's called Mdaurush right now, or Mador. And it's really good. Like the story is very beautiful. It's a man who wants to become an owl. So he tries with some sorcery, magic and stuff, and he gets transformed into a donkey. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very beautiful book. It's kind of, I think, 250 pages or something. Now, like what I was reading yesterday, it's a book I got recommended by a tourist. It's called The Bridge Over the Drina by Ivo Andrić.
Okay.
It's a Bosnian writer. So this book is historical. He talks about a bridge, okay? And this bridge was made by an actual character. The bridge exists, and the character exists. Okay, Sukulu, it's a vizier, which is like a prime minister of Sultan, Ottoman Sultan, and the bridge exists, the city exists. So he mentions that, and he imagines life,
Sort of like the way Dan Brown does things, like he imagines things according to real history.
Exactly. So I really love this. I am reading it. I really like it. So I can read something if it's
okay,
if
cool.
it's
So you do
related.
read fiction.
Yeah.
If it's related to history. So
Someone who plays video games, I think he will enjoy fiction, of course.
Interesting. How does the relation between your job as a tour guide is influenced by the books you read? Does it help you in any way? Did it make your job better? Do you have like better feedback from people? I know also that you do like the regular circuits, but you also have very special circuits considering that you have all of that knowledge about the Roman Empire. So how does it go usually with the people you have around?
That's the complicated question. Like I need to.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So if I will answer to this. How does it go with people? Are the books helpful or not? I told you that I will talk about the other sources of books. The other sources are the old sources, the ones I like the most. We have the like modern books, the ones I mentioned. There are thousands of them, like really like so much. And then there are the older books, the ones that have been written during antiquity. And these ones are for free. That's why I don't have them, so I read them online. Like literally, there is a website in French. There is a website called Remacle, R-E-M-A-C-L-E, where you find most of these books, texts. We call them texts, yeah. We call them old text. And they are written by people who lived during that time, and they explain things according to that time.
Okay.
My best book that I would recommend to anyone is called Letters from a Stoic. By Lucius Annaeus Seneca. Seneca is my uncle, my adoptive father, whatever you want. I really love him.
You really like Stoic philosophy. That thing I know.
Yeah, but I love him also because
the persona.
His writing style is awesome. So let's come back to the answer. I said that I read the old sources. The old sources give you everything related to that time, right? Like how things were written by someone who lived during that time. How for example, Seneca talks about the baths. And the baths, like we don't, like now if you go to a bath, Roman bath in, I don't know, like in Churchill, or something, you don't know how it used to work. But when you read, you know how it was. You see? So the old sources allow me to explain and give people imagination.
Okay.
Give people how things were.
So in a way, whatever is missing on the site, you build it back through storytelling. Okay.
You know that there are two, like, I will enter into details here. There is archaeology and history. The archaeologist unearths stuff. The historian interprets them. They work
together.
You cannot separate them. Same thing for epigraphy. You do transcription and then you do translation. You don't say I translate a stone. You transcript what's written, and then you translate it. And those who used to do transcription are artists.
So transcription is like transcription is like rewriting what is written in stone. right?
For example,
And translation is
you
explaining it.
translate it. Yeah.
Okay.
You interpret it.
What about the story, the Algerian history? When it comes, for example, to when people mention Algerian history in general, they usually mention colonial history, and they don't go all the way to antiquity, or at least there aren't like a lot of emphasis around antique history. But you, as a guide, this is where you go to.
Look, right now we are in Algiers, right? Algiers, the history began in the 3rd century BC. It was a small Phoenician port, then it became a city of the Numidian, the Mauritanian kingdom, the King Juba II. We have stones that talks about that, and then the city got Romanized and it became Romanized, and those who were living here were mostly mixed between Romans and Berbers, Berbers who adapted the Roman mentality. Okay, and then the city was attacked by other Berbers who used to live in the south, and then they built walls and stuff. So let's say there is no Romans. The Romans number were limited. Okay, so you cannot bring those people and give them territory and they multiply. They are not bacteria, you know. So they have to, let's say, give influence to the people and make it the standard to be Roman, you know, to grow up as a Roman and to want to be a Roman. So that's what they did. And most of our history right now is part of the Roman time. If we talk, for example, to the name of the cities, you have the city, that's what I share with the tourists, by the way. Etymology, I love it. The city of Sitif, the city was called Sitifis, right?
Sitifis, okay.
Biskra, the city was called Veskera, and then the V became B.
Okay.
Or the other way around, VBBV. You have Biskera, Veskera, and Taveste became Tibistra. You see, there are so many, there is Bagai, which is Bagai right now, and so thousands of cities, Kalama, Galma, and stuff, you see?
So whether we like it or not, there's still influence of antiquity
And everything.
in today's world.
Everything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you could study any kind of history that is completely outside of what we have and completely outside of what you can actually explore, so no antiquity and no Algerian history, what would be something that you would be interested in to learn?
Regarding history or regarding
history?
anything?
For example, like an era, let's say, I don't know, English history maybe, Asian
I did
history.
that at school. Well, English history we did that at school, yeah. Asian history, yeah, I mean, like, there are histories that I'm interested in and others
Like?
I'm not. For example, the Vikings, they bombarded us with Viking history to the point that I'm not interested in anymore. Like in video games, in like TV shows and stuff, to the point where, nah, I'm not. Japanese history, a little bit. South Asian history, a little bit. But I like the Ottoman history a lot. I like the Islamic history, for example, Abbasid Caliphate and stuff. Persian history, which is a huge. Greek, which is like Roman. And I wouldn't also, I'm not interested in, for example, Incas or Aztec and everything, or Africans.
Oh, you're not interested in the continent's history, like African history?
No.
Why?
Just North Africa. It's just a choice. It is what it is. That's all.
An interest.
Any interest.
Okay.
I'm not interested in Western Europe, for example, Middle Ages or something. I'm not. Except the Middle Age architecture, for example, the castles and stuff. Even the castles are linked to the Roman Empire, if you want to know. Because like during, after the Crusades, they went to the Middle East. They found that the Romans built castles in the Middle East, and then they went back to Europe and they started to build castles and improve the ones they found in the Middle East. That's, you see?
Okay.
Everything's root is the Roman Empire.
Okay, so you just went to the root.
Yeah,
Sort
kind of. Yeah, let's not make it. If you want a comparison of which civilization had more influence, the Chinese one had huge impact. They invented almost everything. So, yeah.
Okay, but we don't talk about it enough, I feel like.
I don't know. They were inventors. You know the paper during the Islamic era, Beit al-Hikmah stuff. was because they won a battle, and then they captured the prisoners, and then they taught them how to make paper, and books and things evolved from that.
Okay.
You see?
So I want to go back to something. When we say antiquity, what's the date we're talking about exactly? Like, what years are we talking about, and who does it touch exactly?
5th century BC, we could say, right? After the battle. Okay, antiquity. Right.
Uh-huh.
What's better than explaining than a book? Yeah.
So
The
this-
word of late antiquity. Okay, antiquity, it would. Yeah, that's the book.
Uh-huh.
It's very complicated. This book is very, very complicated. The problem with history books is that you cannot read them. You cannot binge read a book like that you cannot read, let's say, 25 pages in a day. Your mind would be destroyed.
Because it's a lot of
A lot
packed
of
up information in this.
A lot of information,
Okay.
and you have to look for the information you don't know and stuff. See?
Nice.
This one talks about late antiquity, and then we would say 5th century BC. What happened? We have the Battle of Marathon. You know, the Battle of Marathon, it was between the Persians and the Greeks. And then before it, you have the archaic era. And then you have the what we call classical era, or beginning of antiquity, where the arts would get developed, civilization, like democracy, the arts, even the art of the Greek pottery changes during this time, 5th, 6th century. So we would think that it starts at that time.
Okay.
Okay, and it ends at the Islamic conquest of Middle East.
Andalusia.
No, Middle East.
Oh, Middle East.
Yeah, the beginning of Islam. This book ends with the 7th century. Because before it, the changes were not that much. Why would I say that? Because the Romans, or the Byzantines, were already conquering Egypt, North Africa. It stayed the same.
Okay.
Until what happened is the Islamic world conquered the Middle East, North Africa and stuff. So the culture changed a lot. So that's the end of antiquity. Antiquité tardive, that's what we call it.
If we could start by learning that and then going into maybe later things, like what would be the most recent period that we can learn about that influences us still today? Is it late antiquity, or should we start from the very beginning?
It's very difficult how to answer that. Like everything has a specific characters and specific thing to it. Okay, like most of the Romans used to get very afraid of evil eye and stuff, so they had using the salt and stuff. People are still using the salt in Italy, for example. The Romans believed that there is a vein that goes from the heart to this finger. Okay, and if you put a ring here, it means that you kind of
you've given your heart to somebody.
That's why I have a ring. No, I gave it to myself.
That's why I have a ring. But this is why people put the wedding band.
That's why they put the ring, exactly, and we still do it, and we don't even know why. And it's not the right hand; it's the left hand. You see? Okay. So,
but hasn't been scientifically proven that we have a vein?
No, it's false. They just thought about it, so the antique period influenced us in that. The late one influenced that is in the language, for example, Christianity in Europe. So if I would recommend someone to start from the roots, the basis, and then the beginning, just begin. If you want to learn, just begin, and then you will find what you like and what you don't like. Okay. You will find which period you like the most.
I'll make it easy for myself. I'll just ask you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The Republic period, I really don't like it because it's the Caesar one. Julius Caesar and that stuff. It's the Republic. It's the late Republic. It's the end. And it's the period that we have the most sources, written sources. That's why they talk about it the most. Before it's like the Hannibal, the Second Punic War and stuff. Hannibal and stuff. We have sources, but they were written way after.
See? Oh, okay. So it was written after the events happened and not within that time.
Some of them are within, but most of them after. So that's why the sources are kind of.
So you want to tell me that the emperors, well, the Caesars are actually like in the Republic and not emperors?
Caesar, or there is
Caesar,
one guy
Wahed.
called
Okay.
Gaius Julius Caesar, and
Julius
it's
Caesar.
yeah, he died on 44 March 15th
Okay,
BC.
interesting.
Yeah.
So after him became emperors.
After him, 27 BC, the first emperor came, Augustus, and
Okay.
he had the son of Juba the first, king of Numidia, and then
Juba
he sent
second.
it. Yeah, he sent it to Sharshal as a vassal king. Juba the second, he got married with Cleopatra.
Cleopatra Selene.
Yeah. So that's what started.
I know this history
Algeria.
because we can go and visit the museum of Sharshal,
Mhm.
which is very interesting to see if you guys haven't seen it.
Museum of Sharshal is very beautiful. It's hot during the summer, don't go. And if you go during winter, bring coats because it's really cold.
If you could live in any historical period, what would it be?
Now, actually, I
Now?
wouldn't change. We are in too much comfort.
Why?
We have hospitals, we have everything. I wouldn't change. Why would I change to go to the past where you could eat something you don't know you would die and stuff? You have a toothache, you would die, like because of the pain. So now is better.
And if you could meet anyone from a historical period, who do you want to meet?
Oh,
Besides Seneca.
no, I would look. Meeting him is not interesting because he never lived by the things he was explaining. So his writings are enough. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I would tell you, I've never thought about that. I don't know.
Okay.
Because like choosing someone is removing someone else, so I wouldn't take a choice. Probably I would tell you some like, for example, Trajan, Emperor Trajan, because he was like very strong man, perseverance and stuff. So I would probably meet him.
He's a Roman emperor.
Yes.
Interesting. Did he do anything significant? What can you tell me about him?
He, during his period, he extended the Roman Empire to its max territory, and he was a warrior. He was very smart and stuff. So I would meet him to learn.
All right.
He would give me some time. I would learn from him and see how to control people, control territory, and win. To fight and stuff.
Okay. So if you would suggest us any other resources where we can learn more about history, about historical sources maybe, what would you suggest? Let's say suggest to us 3 sources, mostly.
3 books you want? Yeah?
Yeah.
Look, the easiest one is Seneca, Letters
Letters from a Stoic.
From a Stoic, yeah. Letters from a Stoic. And he wrote 125 letters to his best friend at that time, Lucilius. And they all start like that. Greetings from Seneca to his friend Lucilius. The letters are sometimes short, sometimes long, sometimes interesting, sometimes not. So these letters, you can read them like fiction, you see. Okay. So that's book 1. In addition to his essays, like long letters. The best one I would recommend is called On the Shortness of Life.
On the Shortness of Life.
Yeah, I've read it and listened to it hundreds of times. It's very beautiful. It talks about that we have enough time to live, and we should live right now and not think about the future. Do the things right now, etc. So, source number 1, Seneca, book number 1. If you want to learn about history, I would recommend Titus Livy. Not books, but mostly works. He has a main book, Ab Urbi Condita, from the beginning of the city. Like, if you want to learn about the Roman town and the customs and stuff, he has
all his works are centered about Rome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I would also probably Varron, francese, français, Varrone. His text or his work, most famous one, is called De Lingua Latina. So he explains the origin of the words. See?
Oh, okay. So etymology.
Etymology in that time, which is very interesting. For example, he explains the meaning, the relation between the word temple and to contemplate.
Oh,
There is a relation. Actually, the temple is the place chosen by the priests to contemplate. Contemplate what? Contemplate the birds. Because Romans used to believe that the birds, les augures, en italien, we say, languages started to mix, auguri, auguri, félicitations.
Yeah.
Tanti auguri per te.
In French we say. No, but like I think because auguri in my head.
Les augures, bon augure.
The bon augure.
De bon augure, c'est ça.
And it means like good omens.
No,
omens?
auguri kind of during happy birthday. Tanti auguri. Auguri.
Yeah, but I mean like if
anniversaire.
you. I'm pretty sure like it traveled through languages.
It came from Latin. Les augures, auguri, c'était les oiseaux, birds that fly, and the way they fly, the shape and stuff. It means the priests can sacerdoci, can interpret them and give you a signification. Just like we have people who read lead, I don't know, and coffee and stuff.
Oracles.
Yeah, kind of oracles, and this act is to contemplate. Where? In the temple. You see, he explains this, and he explains many, many other things. So this is the three I would recommend, but if you like fiction, if you love normal life, I would give you the graffitis of Pompeii and Herculaneum. These are not text, it's just graffitis they found in the walls. They found like thousands of them in the walls of Pompeii and in the walls of Herculaneum, which is the second city that was buried by Vesuvius in 79 AD when it erupted. You know, Napoli, Pompeii is near Napoli. And those graffitis talk about everything, about normal life. They insult each other, they talk about friendship, they talk about, it's random, you know. And also I recommend more than three, right?
Okay,
because I
go
cannot
ahead.
choose. The other one you have Martialis or Martial or Martial. Same thing, poet, writer. What he writes is mainly like he insults. He talks about everything, but he insults mostly. And it's very interesting because when you read them online, you will find that some of them has not been translated from Latin because they are too above the level of very harsh ones. He insults people. It's very interesting. Martial. There are others. There are Juvenal, Horace, and stuff. Horatius. Whenever you get into that word, you can start.
There's a lot of resources.
You can discover by yourself.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can we just check your books one last time?
All right.
There's one last book you haven't shown, which is yes.
All right. There are two actually. So the ones I have shown are
the ones we've seen are these SPQR, The World of Late Antiquity, and two books by Garrett Ryan, right? But we still have two.
All right. This one, I really love it for those who really want to know if they have to start from scratch. If they can't buy these two because these two are modern, you cannot find them online unless you buy them. There is this one you can find at the museums. Okay, you find it at Tipaza, you find it at most of the museums and sites in Algeria, like Timgad and stuff. I will show you it 1 second. So this is about Tipaza. The collection is most of the sites we have in Algeria. So you have Timgad, you have Jumila, Tidis, which is next to Constantine. You have Shersel, and you have Ipon Annaba, right?
Yes.
And what I like about it, like it explains everything with pictures and stuff. It's very well written, okay? And what I like is the map at the end of the site. You have the map, and with the map you can go to the site by yourself. You don't need a guide. You see, like the names,
So you can visit Tipaza just through this book.
Through this map, through this book and through this map, right? Like you don't need anything. Collection is huge, and it has most of the sites, and the information is pretty
nice.
Pretty.
Is this
accurate.
done by an Algerian edition? أراجع.
It was made in 2010, I think. It's the last version. They haven't updated it.
Collection musée à ciel ouvert. That's so cool. And it has everything, like history, visits,
And fun facts also, like
museum.
how the taxes were paid, the libitinari, the graves, how they used to bury and stuff.
Nice.
The last book I haven't read. It has been gifted to me by French. It's like Histoire de l'Algérie, like the whole country, and he did it. I wrote a little bit. I read a little bit of it. It's written by Michel Pierre, who used to work in the Algerian embassy here, and he did a massive work. He collected most of the information he could get about Algeria, and he talks about most of the period. I met him, but I didn't know it was him. So we talked, and we exchanged like contact and stuff. And then I go home, and I grab the book that I have been given, and I found that it's him. I'm like,
Can I see?
I really, I would have loved to have this book signed, you know,
To have it signed,
just
yeah.
to collect, you know, like have as many
Nice. Histoire
books.
de l'Algérie by Michel Pierre. That's amazing. That is a pretty thick collection of...
This is a small one I could bring today, you know. I have many books at home, but like some of them are way into details. So I just...
That's so cool. This is not typically the kind of books I have, to be honest, but I would love to read some of them sometimes. I'll get my hands on it.
Sure.
Well, thank you very much for this episode. I hope it was nice.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me and for being here and for hearing what I have to share.
I would love to hear more about it. Sadly, we have very limited time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I hope that I can see you guys on the next episodes. Don't forget to subscribe, to check also. I wish I could give you his socials, but he closed them.
I don't have social media.
Exactly. You can find also the social media of Le Dojo, who host us here every time, and thank you for their collaboration. And if you need any discounts on books, you can find them from Desert Book Dealer, also linked in the description. I don't get commissions on that, so it's purely for your own free enjoyment. Thank you so much for this episode, and catch you next time.